I would almost say that this is one of the greatest animated movies of all time, just based on the sheer artistry and different clashes of style that they somehow have made fit together in this movie.
I don't know if it's the best animated movie I've ever seen, but it is my favorite looking one I've ever seen. It was
just from
so
a visual
incredible.
standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. I'm gonna give this to you. You record that. Look at this stuff, right? You recorded freeze frame any one of these things. Freeze frame any one of these pieces of animation right here, and tell me that it is not gorgeous. Go ahead and get your tickets for Double Toasted Live in Atlanta. You press that banner right there. It'll take you to x1entertainment.com. And over there you can get your tickets for Double Toasted Live in Atlanta for a night of comedy, games, and our after party. That's going to be September 2nd. So we are about to get into our review of one Mr. Miles Morales. Some people say that I look like a future Miles Morales.
I thought that's who I was talking to.
I know. A lot of people stop me on the street. Are you Mr. Morales?
Are you that fella from the cartoon?
Yes, I am. Let me see what we got here. I just lie to people. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I lock it into the last one.
I'm middle-aged Miles. That's what I am.
Want me to do that?
No, I can do it myself.
Please.
So, folks, in order to kick this review off, my man, he brought party favors here.
Burger King crowns.
Burger King crowns. And since you brought them, I thought maybe, you know what? I'll go ahead and give this a try. In celebration of one Mr. Miles Morales, a.k.a. Spider-Man. And I got a big head, man, as you know.
Yeah, you're making it small.
I'm making it, okay, let me go ahead and make it bigger then.
I put mine all the way at the end.
You put yours all the way at the end?
Yeah. Like
that. All the way at the end.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I got a big-ass forehead, so that's probably what I need to do. Oh, let's see. Come on, get in there. Get in there. This thing childproof? Let me see. All right. I think I about got it. There we go. Uh-huh.
Hey, look at that.
King Miles.
Yes,
at
Mr.
your
Miles.
Service.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, it looks fancy.
You like it?
Oh, I love it. It looks better on you than me.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man. You know what it does? It covers up my big-ass forehead.
Yeah, it looks natural.
I like it, man. King Miles is here. Or is he? We're going to see with this review right here. Hey, look, I'm going to start off by saying, and I think I speak for a lot of people, everybody loves a good Spider-Man.
Who doesn't? Everyone loves Spider-Man.
Maybe not that guy. Are these guys right here?
No, they're not a fan.
But I'm not talking about these funny book characters over here. I'm talking about honest to God, real people.
The people.
The people out there. You know, I have yet to meet a person that says, Spider-Man, no, just don't like him. I've never heard that other from somebody's mouth.
Everyone loves Spider-Man.
Spider, it's just one big spider gangbang at this moment, man.
Yeah, it's one big spider gang initiation.
It really is, man. It's a lot of spider stuff going on with this. You know, with this one, we got spider horses, spider cars, spider cats, spider monkeys. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
There's definitely a spider monkey in there somewhere.
There's a spider monkey in that. And who doesn't want a gangbang without a monkey in there, man? We got a spider monkey up in here.
It's not complete without him.
Yeah, you want to, hey, if you thought about it, it's probably up in there, man. And that's all because of one little black spider boy. And that would be Miles Morales right here. You know, Miles Morales, everyone loves Miles Morales, man. Who doesn't love Miles Morales as they would love any Spider-Man out there? But there's a chance, and none of us want to admit this. This is hard for me to even say because I love Miles Morales so much.
Go ahead. Come on, we're here for it.
It really breaks my heart.
I can see.
But maybe he wasn't meant to be. You know, somebody's making an argument out there that maybe he was not meant to be Spider-Man. And, you know, that's one thing. But, you know, when you are not meant to be something in the comic book world, you might be all right here, but you're for somebody else in another timeline.
Oh, all those timelines.
All those timelines out there. Somewhere, you might be okay right here, but somewhere, somebody's catching hell, man. And his existence might be threatening the lives and families of other Spider people out there. How does this affect our love for Spider-Man? You know, because some people might say that all this Spider goodness that might be too much of a good thing.
Too much of a good thing. I don't know about that, but I could see maybe how some people would say that.
Some people say there's no such thing when it comes to Spider-Man, but we're going to talk about just that possibility along with our review of this highly anticipated animated film right here, the sequel to Into the Universe.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider. I knew I was going to mess that. I knew I was going to do it. Into the Spider-Verse. As we go across the Spider-Verse with the sequel to that film. And we're going to watch the trailer. And as usual, of course, we'll be back with our review.
We are supposed to be the good guys.
We are.
This is probably going to be a weird description of this movie here. But the best way that I can describe it, if I was just going to give you if I had just a minute with you in an elevator and I had to sell you on this movie, I would say that this is the Roger Rabbit of Spider-Man movies.
Interesting. Okay.
With just a small dose of Empire Strikes Back.
I was thinking something else, but okay.
Let me explain.
Please.
And I want to hear your explanation after I explain myself. Because, with Roger Rabbit, they had all kind of animation characters and properties in one movie, and I thought I would never see them together like that. And here they have so many Spider-Man properties and characters and IPs, and I thought that I would never see them in one place in one movie like this.
Hell, I thought that we would never get 2099 Spider-Man in a movie.
I think we had 2,099 Spider-Man in this movie, man.
That's lowballing it.
Yeah, at least. No, I never thought that I would see or something like, again, like Ready Player One, which is just kind of like,
it's
the
Easter
Roger
egg,
Rabbit
the
of
movie.
pop, Easter egg, the movie. It's the Roger Rabbit of pop culture.
Yeah.
But, so you'd have all these versions of Spider-Man from different shows and comic books and, and cartoons all in one spot. But then as the movie progressively gets darker, it ends on this really dark cliffhanger. And I'm like, oh my God, we got an Empire Strikes Back ending right here. Yeah. Another cliche way to describe something, but I really did get that feeling when I saw it. Weird mix of things right there, kind of a weird way to describe this film. But, the way they mashed it all up, I absolutely loved it, man. I look at me in the eye right now. I want you to hear me clearly. I love this movie. I love this movie to death.
Yeah. It was special, man.
Why the hell you think I got this crown on? Because you brought it to me?
Yeah.
Well, that's part of it. But I did it because I love this movie. This movie's king to me.
I totally get it. And I agree.
Really?
When the title card popped up for Columbia Presents, I wanted to scream. When it cut to black at the end, oh shit! I wanted to scream. I was so hyped.
I was exhausted at the end of this movie, probably in the best way.
I never wanted it to end. I could watch this forever.
So we're going to talk about the length of this because this movie is 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Yeah. And
a lot of people say that's kind of long for a live action movie. For an animated family film, is what this can be. Is what this is being considered a family film in a way. That might be stretching the patience of some kids and some adults out there. But let me tell you why this movie. Let me tell you why this movie makes some brilliant moves. Because there are, and we talked about this before, there are going to be some things in there that I believe is going to be an issue for some people.
Definitely.
And I think it's legitimate complaint if people have those issues. I think they're not wrong at all. But overall, I think this movie made some brilliant moves, man.
It's incredibly bold.
So we've heard the Uncle Ben story so much.
To death, if you will.
That poor man has become a joke now, Uncle Ben.
He won't stop dying.
Exactly, man. Why don't you just die already? Because we heard it before. That poor old man has become a joke now, his death. One time we felt sad. Now we're just like, just get with, man. The biggest joke right now is that we don't talk about Uncle Ben. Mm-hmm. It's almost like his name is a dirty sex act or something, man.
His whole origin. We don't want to hear it anymore.
We don't want to hear that anymore. Here, instead of avoiding the origin story of Uncle Ben that we've heard over and over again, this movie embraces it, man. Mm-hmm. This movie Across the Spider-Verse, it takes that origin story that we've been getting tired of all these years and turns it into this high stake themes of not loss, but of sacrifice. And it just takes that origin story and gives it meaning all over again, because, that's the thing here. In all these universes, and you've seen it in the trailer, I'm not spoiling anything, everybody's had to suffer a loss in order to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, and they all go through the same routine.
Exactly. And I just think that it's brilliant that they took something that we thought we would never want to hear anymore and turned it into something that is so high stakes and emotional here.
I think one of the things that's like good about this movie, and also could be a detriment to some people, is like this movie is riding off of a lot of cliches. It's one after another, but the execution, it's more or less pretty perfect the way they did it, and especially when the art style just elevates it to a 10.
Well, speaking of the art style, man, so there's a real sincerity to this movie right now. Even the good superhero movies that we see today, let's be honest, they're starting to feel like products.
They lack style a lot of the time.
Well, not only do they lack style, and you're right, because we look at stuff, I think that's one of the biggest complaints about Marvel right now, is that it's not that we're criticizing the artists who work on these movies. It's just that it's all starting to look the same. We have a template. They're not
standing out. You don't hear the director's voice as much.
No, you really don't. We talk, they used to pride themselves on we're bringing these directors in to put their own stamp on these. And they're not really. Everything's starting to kind of look the same, feel the same. And they're starting to feel like products because they're just setting up the next film. They're setting up the stinger for the next film. And, even like I said, even the movies that I have enjoyed, let's admit it, man, they feel like they're just kind of, studio properties that they're there for the money.
Yeah, they're there for the money and to set up other things to make money, which this movie I think is a little bit guilty of. It has like
Spider-Man, yeah.
But it has a lot of boxes that it checks. Some are less noticeable than others, but I can again see why it could bother some people.
Well, unlike, what we're talking about with these other films, yes, this is Spider-Man, so this is a money-making property. So it's not that original, but it's about as original as you can get with the big brand IP. Yeah. Because there's definitely a priority on artistry here, man.
Oh my God, is there ever?
The animation is beautiful. Every frame of this film, and let me just go ahead and pull out this other trailer here, man, that new trailer that they had. Every frame of this movie, and I read a review where they said this, and so I'm just going to piggyback on what this person said.
Say it.
Every frame of this movie is a piece of art. You
Absolutely.
Take any frame, and hang it up, and you have a beautiful piece of art. You have a gorgeous comic book panel. I would almost say that this is one of the greatest animated movies of all time, just based on the sheer artistry and different clashes of style that they somehow have made fit together in this movie.
I don't know if it's the best animated movie I've ever seen, but it is my favorite looking one I've ever seen. It was
just from a visual standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. I'm going to give this to you. You record that. Look at this stuff, right? You recorded freeze frame any one of these things. Freeze frame any one of these pieces of animation right here, and tell me that it is not gorgeous.
I've been telling people, it's like you think you know what you're getting into seeing this, but you have no idea.
You really don't.
They do everything that I could have ever wanted visually.
And it's amazing because there are so many different clashes of style, more than we had before. When we look at Into the Spider-Verse, everybody was so taken in by the combined comic book styles, the Ben-Day dots, the ink lines, the painted look. All those things combined to make pretty much one just beautiful graphic novel come to life.
Yeah.
This lays it on even thicker, man, and somehow it continues to work.
Like in this one, it feels more like a whole bunch of different styles, like really forced in, but not in a way that it doesn't work.
What they do here is that almost every main character has their own look.
Yeah.
For example, like Gwen Stacy's world.
She's like watercolor, right?
It's like watercolor wash, man. And it's funny because, the way they use it's not enough just to make it, that style. They use it for storytelling effect. Mm-hmm. When things are kind of calm and subdued, the colors are softer. When she's getting into an argument with her father and things get louder and angrier, they get the colors get angrier and louder.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah, man. It depends on the mood of what these characters are and how it changes.
It's filmmaking in its purest form. Don't get it twisted.
Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk is not even really...
he's not even really a character. I'm pretty sure he was based on a skin from the Spider-Man video game.
He's a character.
But wasn't that like the first time he ever appeared? Was
I don't know.
In the video game?
But as far as the style goes, he's not even a painted character so much as he's like a collage.
Yeah, he's like a torn out newspaper image. It's sick.
Voiced by David Kaluuya. And what's cool about Spider-Punk is that... and this is I swear this is going to be a lot of people's favorite character because he's so like when you haven't seen anything, you've seen the character like with his mask on, but when he takes it off and you see what he looks like and how cool he is, even Miles is like, damn, you cool, man. He's like, yeah.
How did you get more cool?
Yeah, he's like, don't worry about it. I've always been cool. But the art style for this character is like it's a collage in a way where it's like because it's supposed to fit his love for anarchy. And so he's a punk rocker. So everything is chaotic with him. It's a collage that's gone crazy. Plus it's a collage that is meant to reflect sort of like an actual punk rock poster for a show in the 80s.
Yeah, it looks like a Sex Pistols poster.
It sounds like probably a one-note character that's played up for visuals and comedy. And paying attention to the movie is more than that. He's actually kind of a precursor for some of the things that's about to happen to Miles, and he's subtly trying to lay it out for him. I think, and I'm telling you this because when you see the character, just look at some of the subtle things that he says and does to Miles, because he's a deeper character than what you initially think he is.
I would go as far as to say that all the characters are really nuanced and cleverly done. The script there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of movie in here, and it's really good at having a character quickly introduced and making them feel fleshed out. None of these characters, no pun intended, feel flat. They all have a ton of depth. Surprising for some of them, I'd say. Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac was great.
Yeah, he was. And his character's very well designed, beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, he's well designed. And Oscar Isaac is very good as doing the voice. It's funny because, that's another thing that happens with Oscar Isaac in this, man. Oscar Isaac is, he's his character. He's the only Spider-Man that doesn't crack jokes. He's the only Spider-Man that's not fucking around. He's like, I'm about business here. I'm trying to save everybody's life. So in those moments where things are going crazy and things are going so fast, he does come in, and even though you want to be like, hey, lighten up, man, shit. He's the one that even kind of brings some stability to the movie when it's needed. Speaking of real, brightly colored things, everyone likes a brightly colored lawn, man. Lush, green. That ain't nothing like that bright green lawn in the summertime.
It was like there was a spider grass?
Like spider grass, yes. People, if Spider-Man did have grass, it would be taken care of. It would be because of Sunday Lawn. I got to do a quick word from our sponsor right here and talk about Sunday Lawn Care. Just very quickly, let me holler at you. And some of you need to know this because summer is pretty much here. And some of y'all are older now. We got a lot of millennials in our audience, but some of them have kids now. Some of them have families, and with that comes a home. Oh. And with that comes that nice front lawn and even the back lawn for barbecues. And you don't want it to just be nice. You want to be the Spider-Man lawn of the neighborhood. You want to be great.
You want everyone to say, get me pictures of their lawn.
Exactly. Parker, give me that picture of that grass over there. Yes, people. And that is what Sunday Lawn is going to do for you. And it's going to give you the most beautiful lawn in the neighborhood for not a lot of money. If you go and get our code, getsunday.com/toasted, and you enter that, you'll get a customized plan that will get you the yard you just dreamed of, always dreamed of. And they're going to do it because what they do is they save you time. First of all, to get a nice lawn, sometimes you got to make a lot of trips back and forth.
You got to get fertilizer. It stinks. Sometimes it's manure. Oh. Sometimes it's straight up dookie. Oh. And you got to bring it back and lay it all out. And several trips you got to make. You ain't got to do that with Sunday Lawn, man. No one wants pictures of that grass.
No, they do not. All you got to have is the water hose, man. There's a little bag that you put on the tip of your water hose, and it sprays and fertilizes the lawn. Very nice, saving you time. In fact, you could do it probably by the time you're done watching this review right here.
Yeah.
And also with Sunday Lawn, here's the most important thing. You got kids, as I said. Some of you might even have a little puppy like mine. Look how small this dog is right here.
Oh, gosh.
I say this all the time. You know, when Pixie goes out into the yard, she crawls with the bugs, man, because she's so small. You know what I'm saying?
Lose her in the grass.
Yeah, you could. Or lose her in all those chemicals that you put out there, man. You can't have that.
You don't want that.
You do not want
Radioactive dog.
She already looks like a mutant as it is. So I know maybe she'll come back with superpowers. I don't know. But there's no harsh chemicals. There's nothing you have to be afraid of for your kids or your pets. I mean, once you fertilize this lawn, you can let them go back out there and play and run in the grass.
Dog.
Look at that happy dog. I'm chemical free. I got no superpowers either.
I need to go see Across the Spider-Verse.
With this, you'll get a full season plan that's customized for you that starts at $109. And it's going to get even cheaper because I got a discount for you right here. I already told you. If you put in getsunday.com/toasted, you'll get 50% off your first box. So we've taken it down from $109 to $55 right there because bargain. Thank you. Not just a bargain, that's a super bargain right there.
Super across the Spider-Verse, across the backyard bargain.
Oh, go to getsunday.com/toasted. That's GETSUNDAY.com/TOASTED and get 50% off your first box. Be a superhero to your family. Be the superhero of the neighborhood. You might create some supervillains because they hate your lawn so much. So, I want to thank our sponsor, Sunday Lawn Care, and I want to thank all of you out there for your support. All right. You know, speaking of styles, and we're going to kind of lead off into some story stuff with this, I just want to point out, you know, something that I noticed with this, since, again, we are talking about different styles that are being used in this movie right here. One thing that I was impressed with is that they're doing so many things outside of just, you know, making this look like paint and making it look like inked drawings.
Different kinds of paper.
Well, speaking of paper, man, you know, they're actually, and I saw a frame right here.
There is one frame in there that a lot of people missed, and me being one of them.
Man, I saw one thing here that I wanted to show.
It's near the end of the trailer with the lady on the motorcycle.
No, it's with the character of the Dot.
Oh yeah, that, man. Talk about surprises this movie has.
Oh yeah, you know,
and again being bold as hell.
So looking at this character here, the Dot,
Spot.
I'm sorry, the Spot. So with that character, one of the things I liked about it, and I thought I could find a frame of it, but with this character right here, things are also becoming more sketchy too. As in, it looks like they're actually drawing these characters.
Waka waka.
Waka 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 waka. But like that character, when that character gets close to the screen, you'll actually see like for those of you who are artists out there who draw, you'll notice that when you draw a character, you use construction lines. And that's what they did with this character here. There's points where you can see where it looks like they actually left the sketches or the sketch lines inside of the character.
Smart stylistic choice.
Yeah, it looks like that with a lot of things. You see things that look like sketches instead of paintings or 3D models. So again, just something that they've done to expand on the art style that they've had here. Speaking of the Spot. And there it is. You can see some of that right there where you can see where they like left sketch lines in there.
Oh yeah. And like just rough brush strokes.
Rough brush strokes. Yeah, man. I thought that was really cool that they, were taking chances, keeping these characters, some of them looking really raw.
It elevates the film.
It does. It does, man. I actually like the character a lot because
I did too.
With this character right here, man, I was saying that this character was not going to be playing a big role in the movie.
Yeah, that and when you're watching it, it feels that way. And honestly, like that's one of my favorite things when a movie fools you. Like a good movie will make you think, oh, this is just a quick aside, but then it ends up being more important than you might have thought.
Yeah. Well, again, just kind of leading up from art style into story right here and into the rest of the filmmaking. That art style actually plays into a lot of the action that we see on screen.
Yeah.
A lot, man. The stuff that they do with the Spot in here,
it's sick.
It was first of all, it's extremely clever, And it was just a lot of fun. The first half of this movie leans heavily on comedy. And I thought the comedy with the idea of using the spots, because the way the spot works is each one of his spots is sort of an interdimensional portal.
It's a portal.
Yeah, and when he reaches in one, his hand will come out into another spot that he's laid out. And they did a lot of great physical comedy with that, along with combining it with some of the action that they do here. And it's, again, very clever.
I had a little accident. Ha! Now look at me. I'm so sorry.
That's Jason Schwartzman who's doing the voice.
He's doing a great job.
He was doing a great job of that. Because this movie is so creative, it handles the idea of a multiverse, I think, so much better than something like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Like I said, the first half of the movie is very much centered on comedy and very much centered on fan service. Like, cannot be denied that a lot of these Easter eggs that we see in here, a lot of the spider versions of Spider People are, all these Spider-Man from different properties that we see in here. They're for the fans, This works for people who don't know comics. You can still go in and watch this.
Even if you're just someone who loves art, because they reference, like, not necessarily deep cuts, but they reference some big artists out there in the movie.
They do. They actually do. We don't name any because that's going to be for you to see and hear. But man, when you see this, you don't have to. Let me just tell people right now, because you're thinking, oh, this is just going to be for geeks who love Spider-Man, who read the comics or watch the cartoons. It really is not. And it's rare that fan service can pull what they pull off here, because what they do is, sure, they're putting stuff out there for the fans, man. That's no denying. But the things that they do with them, the writing they do with them is so clever that I think a lot of people can come in and just get off on the weirdness.
Yeah.
It's just so weird, because even, look, I don't know how happy these Spider People are. And I'm just like, it's just weird.
Yeah, it is.
And that weirdness, I think, and just the clever writing that they have is what really makes these Easter eggs that something that is something that mainstream people will get and enjoy.
Yeah, I was expecting this to be like Ready Player One or the Mario movie, and it just wasn't.
Spider-Man. Wait, you?
You see what I'm talking about? And it just gets weirder and weirder.
This thing is any damn weirder.
I looked at my uncle and...
Let me guess. He died?
Bam, bitch! People, there's a horse, there's a cat,
A T-Rex,
T-Rex, yeah. People, it's because this thing is so absurd. You don't have to know anything about the history of Spider-Man to come in and laugh at this. Just laugh at the craziness of it.
Yeah. The movie is surprisingly meta, and it's not in an obnoxious way.
No, not at all. But I have to say that this is where the criticism comes in of the film. Well, and listen, I have to be honest, all right, because as much as I love this movie, I have to be honest that I have some criticism that I felt. I'm not just saying this for other people, even though other people I'm sure will think some of the same things that I'm pointing out right here. But when I said earlier, when I was introducing this, is this too much of a good thing? Some of it actually is, man.
Yeah, you thought so?
Yeah, because I never thought that the writing was bad. Almost everything in here is written very clever.
And the actors do a great job.
They do.
All of them are great to varying degrees.
I think the problem is, when I say too much of a good thing, is that all this stuff is so good that no one wants to throw anything out. I think they want to leave so much in here. Could this be a movie that doesn't run so long? Yeah, I think it probably could. I think that, with so much stuff going on, I felt exhausted watching this.
It's an interesting pace for the movie. Like, it goes so fast at sometimes, and then it comes to a halt almost.
There's a section here that almost bombards you, man, because there's a section here where the movie it's bombarding you with the introduction of characters. And they all follow the same format when they're introduced. It's almost the same joke being repeated. And I'm not saying it's bad, because it's actually very funny, and I'm eager to see what style they're going to use when they introduce another character. But it's just one after another. and each one is even louder than the next.
Yeah, and they're self-aware in a way where they know when to stop, I thought at least. But I can definitely understand why you're saying that.
Yeah, and you said it, man. It feels like it moves a little too fast at times. You know, I criticize movies for being too slow. I'm almost criticizing this for being too fast, because there's just so many mixtures of art styles and all these colors and lines squiggling everywhere, man. It can be sensory overload. Do not see. I love this movie enough to tell everybody to see it, unless you're epileptic. Otherwise, I might be committing manslaughter.
Yeah.
You're gonna go in there and have a seizure. And I might be
foaming at the mouth.
I would be killing your ass if I told you to go see this movie. I cannot recommend this movie if you are susceptible to seizures.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of halfway joking, because it's even though you have things that come with a warning of bright lights, fast moving objects might cause seizures. This is that movie, man. This movie might cause a seizure to you. Otherwise, you know, even though I was loving this, I have to say that it was dangerously close to losing focus, man. During that period where it was moving so fast and they were introducing all these characters and it was getting louder and brighter.
Tying up a lot of loose ends.
Yeah, well, it was dangerously close to losing focus. And if it was going to continue to go down that crazy ass route of doing what it was doing, it probably would have derailed itself. And I have to, and I'm just being honest, man, because I was feeling it at that moment. I say, if they don't pull back soon, this is going to lose control.
See, I'm mixed. Part of me is like, man, this 2-part thing, like I would have sat there for 3 hours.
Considering what they did at a certain point, I would too. Because what they did was, you said it just almost hit a wall in a good way. And like it pulled the brakes. Movie just kind of stops, and then the darker story kicks in. And that's where we regain focus. And we start to center on less characters, and we start to actually focus on the story, which is the hard decisions that Miles is finally presented with, him and his friends.
Yeah, and they did a good job of elevating the stakes, and I kind of appreciated that everything didn't have to be an action scene. Like there were good story beats that I didn't see coming they were pretty exciting.
The reason why I felt that I was still invested, the reason why I was still in, I was behind this movie all the way. The reason why is because I think I was impressed with how the characters maintained, man. There was a quality of artistry that maintained, but it was in balance with the characters in the movie.
And a lot of visual storytelling. A lot. Really clever stuff. It's quick too.
It's a whirlwind of styles, but I'm looking, whenever the movie slowed down, and it does, it's not a continuous, it moves fast, but it does take a breather every now and then. Yeah. And when it does, that's when you start getting to these intimate moments with Miles and his parents, Miles and Gwen, some of the other Spider people. And I'd be goddamn if these cartoons, if they don't have better performances than some real people.
It was insane.
In real movies, or live action movies.
Yeah, the mom in this movie blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. Because she's just like almost window dressing in the first movie.
Yeah.
And then in this, she is a fully developed character. And even the dad really branches out and he's interesting.
Yeah, man. The mom, since you brought her up, the mom is played by... but you might recognize this woman, Luna Lauren Velez, and
she's incredible.
In this movie, man, like that stuff that you saw when I played the original trailer, that stuff that you saw at the beginning where you had Miles talking to his mom. I mean, imagine that scene and several more in the film.
For years, I've been taking care of this little boy. Making sure he's loved, that he feels like he belongs wherever he wants to be.
Somebody said he got a fine ass mama. Yeah, he does. He does.
It's not Spider-Man if he doesn't have a fine mama. There's something in that position.
Yeah, Mr. Morales or whatever the last name is. He's a lucky man. No, it's like imagine those scenes between his mom right there, but there's a lot more of them, and that actress and a lot of other people in this movie, man, they do great voice work. But the animation, there's so much animation in here, man, where they
know when to pull back.
well, also they know when to pull back, but the animation is just done so well. I'm not talking about acting for a comic book movie. I'm talking about subtlety and acting for any live action movie out there. These animators have done a great job capturing these facial expressions, and not the ones that are exaggerated. I'm talking about the ones where people are sitting around and talking in moments of drama, talking in moments of intimacy. And they ain't gonna do it, but like you said, some of these characters deserve Academy Award. I ain't talking about the actors either. I'm talking about them damn cartoons.
Yeah, because a lot of this dialogue,
animators deserve Academy Awards.
Damn right they do. I'm sure this will get some sort of nomination. But a lot of these characters, like the dialogue isn't like, it doesn't stand out especially, but these actors, they make it really, really good.
Really the animation on forget the wild action scenes and the superhero set pieces. Some of the best animation in this movie is done when there's just characters talking and you get the expressions on their faces. You know, it's pretty amazing what they do with, again, every bit of this movie, including, like I said, some of the more subtle moments where the characters are interacting.
You can tell they cared.
Yeah, and they do. And the thing is, they do capture those subtle moments in the middle of action too. That's another thing I thought was amazing, is that they can combine action scenes like web slinging through the city, you know, doing what Spider-Man does, you know, just going between cars and buildings and whatnot, and still create this moment where we get teenage flirting between Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales. And between all this action and all this web swinging and going in and out between the city and the buildings, you're still building character, man, and again, a real, just human, emotional way.
Wait, hold on. There's an elite society with all the best spider people in it? How long ago did they invite you?
It's only like a few months ago.
Months is kind of a long time, and
You know, this is sort of like a little light date that they're on. It's flirting.
Tell me, did the movie remind you at all of Scott Pilgrim? Because I thought there was a little bit of that style, like remember in Scott Pilgrim, like they're falling in love. There's hearts behind them and stuff.
Of course, yeah.
Like, I really thought that there was a lot of stuff like that. In this.
Like I said, man, you know, if you look at small things that they did not have to do, you know, when Miles is talking to his mother about class and what he's where he's succeeding and where he's failing. You know, Spanish. He's not doing well in Spanish, and then you see the little Puerto Rican flag pops up when his mother's like disappointed in him, man.
I didn't even see that. That's amazing.
There's little touches in there that they put in there that you don't. You know what? There's no telling how much we've missed.
This isn't a spoiler, but did you notice at the very beginning, before the movie started, when it's a black screen, it literally had a comic book thing in the bottom corner. It was like cough.
Oh yes, I saw that in the movie.
Yeah. That was like a kiss on the cheek for me. I love that.
I'm telling y'all, man, it's amazing what they've done with this film right here, and you know, and I'm just to go back to the spot just real quick. Like I said, I thought I knew everything about this, man. You know, because everything starts to take a darker tone in the movie. And I not only said that the Spot was a minor funny character, but I also said that he was hardly going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Bullshit. I was wrong. I can't admit when I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I was wrong, and I don't mind admitting it because I was wrong the best way. This character actually becomes more threatening as the movie goes on.
And even when you're watching it, you're going to think like, this guy ain't shit.
No. And he ends up being not only more threatening, but what was funny about him having dots all over his body, it actually looks scarier.
Yeah, it does.
As it goes on. Yeah, it actually becomes a little more ominous as it goes on, man. It's not just the art style. There's so many inclusions of different cultures in here. With people having rooftop parties.
Yeah,
just the feeling
it's sprinkled in there just right.
Oh yeah, just the feeling of Brooklyn here, man, and the way the neighborhood feels. It doesn't feel forced.
Yeah,
so
it never feels disingenuous.
No,
ever.
so all those people talking about diversity and forced diversity, it feels very natural here. And I would say that you can definitely feel the influence of the directors.
Oh yeah,
from all of them coming from different cultures, having their touch and their impact on this right here. And here's where you and I are probably going to differ, man.
Okay.
Because you were talking about the music. What'd you say about the music?
To me, the first movie, Into the Spider-Verse, it's not that I just thought the sound was good, the music was good. I thought it was the best superhero soundtrack ever. I thought it was amazing. And I couldn't believe how much it stood out. And in this in this movie, it felt more like that Spider-Man ice cream, where it was like, I'm noticing it and it's not as exciting for me. Like, there was no moment where they threw in a What's Up Danger or that Riot song by Duckworth. Like, that moment, I will never forget the first time I saw it.
Okay.
But I will say there are good moments of music in the movie. There's no denying it. The movie opens with some strong music.
I could see what you're saying, because I think the movie could be, having the music distract from itself, because it is trying to have so many different themes for so many different characters and so many different moments. But that's kind of what I loved about it, because I thought the music overall was great. Because first of all, it's the score is a mixture of sort of orchestration and pop synth in a way, and then you mix that in with the soundtrack, and the soundtrack for this is just a mixture of hip hop and mellow pop and old school hip hop, and they even got some old R&B that they play later on in the movie, man. And I also like that they had different themes made for different spider people. Again, like Spider Punk, he had a punk theme when he, rock, very very heavy rock theme when he came in. Hindu music played for Indian Spider-Man, who had his own art, just pretty much his own art motif going on. I definitely like the music better than you, but I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that the last movie set the bar really high, and they had big shoes to fill, and they didn't quite hit the mark on that. But that's minor.
I hear you. Just to kind of round this up, man, Issa Rae is very, very good in this.
Really cool character.
And man, that version of Spider-Woman is very cool. It's almost better than sex, but you heard the criticisms that I had about, the middle of the movie. So it brings it down to a very, very, very almost better than sex. I just want to say that word, almost better than sex. That should be a rating, but I'm not going to cheat like that. I'm just going to say it's an extremely high full price. One of the best superhero movies out there, while also being one of the best animated movies out there right now, and one of the best superhero movies in animated movies, and one of the best sequels to happen in years.
Yeah, we're lucky. I think we're gonna get 2 amazing Spider-Man trilogies. I'm not talking about the Sam Raimi ones.
Yeah.
I like those first 2, but the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, that's pretty great. And this is shaping up to be pretty special, I think.
But I encourage you to go out. It's a really great time at the theater, man.
It is. This is true art. It is beautiful filmmaking to look at. I give it a very, very, very high full price.
I'm feeling it, man. I am feeling the superhero fatigue because, as I said, things are feeling the same.
Yeah.
And
this definitely stands out.
This is a real movie, y'all. All right. This is not a product, like I said earlier. This is a real film.
And it takes bold risks.
This is real creative filmmaking. This is filmmaking, y'all. Something that you don't get this kind of freedom with usually in mainstream studio films. I would just say just support, because they went in here, like I said, man, with sincerity, creative sincerity. Yeah. I can't stop praising this enough, man. I
think they succeeded.
It did. I love it. And I love you if you go see it. Go check it out.
You think you're going to whip back into theaters to go see it again?
I'm going to fap to this movie. I ain't whipping nothing. I'm whip.
Bring me the lotion and get out of the way.